Welcome to our corner of the role-playing game world where we talk about the Streets of Avalon role-playing game. I'm Chris.
And I'm Brett.
And today we're talking about the 13 magistrate houses and their influence on the city. Man, those magistrate houses, let's get into it. So they're the ones in charge. They make all the laws. They have like 80%, 90% of the money.
Well, as we learned from the movie Aladdin, it's the golden rule. He who has the gold makes the rules.
Yeah, right. There
So,
you go. That's a good reference, man. I love that movie, but
oh yeah. And they're all trying to figure out who's really in charge, who's gonna get the most, who's gonna get the whatever. And at first I'm like, well, how many do you have to have? And I thought 13. I love the number. It's the unlucky number, of course. It's great. And I started going through listing out who would be where, and I'm like, there has to be an empty house. The 13th house has to be empty to start. You obviously it's your campaign when you start and you make Avalon yours. You do what you want, but because there's only 13, the political maneuverings gets turned up to 11. Houses that want to be in, the up and comers, the people who are trying to bribe their way in, nobles who may have been disenfranchised before, are trying to cast aspersions on the Danforth family. Hey, I want to go get the bomb rows out. I want to do this. I want to knock them down a peg so I can ease my way in here. When there's an opening, basically there's a power vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to do? You don't have the odd number house to cast the vote.
Yeah, because it could just be split right down the middle.
It could absolutely be split right down the middle. And guess what happens quite a bit?
Yeah, what happens then? Nothing?
Yeah, a lot of nothing happens, or they table it and I'll have to get back to that. Or, well, it's working as it is right now. It sounds like something the Corbins should just solve themselves. They really don't need us involved. Yes, we agree that you should take care of that, however you'd see fit.
So that's what they do. So the role in the city and their role in the game is that they are these high-level, overarching powers that basically infight with each other for money and influence and power, essentially.
Correct. The number one family have are the Eckharts, and they list up to number one. They own the Moneylenders Guild. Their head is they're the head priest of the Order of Hermes, which is the temple that has all the banks, the runners of Hermes, which we'll get into, all of that stuff. When it comes to coin, the Eckharts have it. They are the bankers of that entire setup.
And because just real quick, the Order of Hermes, they're the message runners in the city. So
yes,
they have pretty much access to all the information too, which
correct.
Is terrifying if you think about it. We can print money, we can lend money, and we know what everybody's doing.
And we have the best spy network in the city.
Mm-hmm.
We know everything about everybody all the time.
Yeah, so they're pretty bad. Or I mean, maybe they're not. I don't know. I mean, they could be. They have the potential.
So what I've done with a number of the families from a use perspective is they are when we talked about earlier on about adventuring local and having kind of earth-shaking or global effects, sometimes you can have a group of folks, they're doing something. Why are they doing this? What's the driving force behind it? You don't always have to go right up to the head of the Potter family and why is she ordering this? It can be someone's within the family. It is a black sheep of the Potter family. They happen to own the Urban Harvesters Guild, most of the farming outside of it, the brewers and winemakers. They have all of those guilds, and somebody is mad within that family, and they're doing something stupid. So now they're doing something stupid. They ran off and are trying to marry somebody from the Danforth family. They've got the star-crossed lover thing going. Something's happening. You got this Danforth person and this Potter person somewhere in your neighborhood trying to figure out what they're going to do. They're going to elope. They're going to run away. And this is utter higgledy-piggledy for the up and ups, right?
Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that. This needs to be organized. It needs to be planned. There's power struggles, all of that stuff. There's the overarching of power, corruption, and so forth. As we talk about, Avalon's not necessarily the nicest of places to live, be arrested, or live. It can be pretty rough.
Live, be arrested, or, live.
Live, exist. But one of the advantages can be then as your characters are going through different things. I've had characters go through and they saved someone, and they find out that someone is a member of the McGiveries. Well, the McGivneys, they're the Blacksmiths Guild, the Sailmakers Guild, and the Rope Makers Guild. They now have a boon from this major family that they can call upon. They know they need to be judicious with said boon. You can't just, hey, I'd like another, round of drinks for my friends. But it's important. When they get in a bind, they can call on this thing. So it's a place because there's different family members within it. It's not just a person, right? Might be a married couple up top, and those two gals are in charge of the whole family, and they rule it with an iron fist. if you've got a widower and he's in charge of everything, but he's very lonely and he's got these 16 kids, 5 kids. Oh my gosh, I've got these unfortunate kids that really weren't with my wife, and oh my gosh, this problem, that problem. All of those War of the Roses types of things, you could have that. You could have star-crossed lovers, as I said. And when somebody wants to make a move from a troubleshooter perspective, are the Grimhagens, the Order of Apothecaries, the Esoteric Order of Ancient Knowledge, are the Grimhagens really going to come down themselves to solve this one problem in your neighborhood?
No.
Probably not. They're going to find a group of higher swords. Hey, you guys, you need to do this for us. And this might very well be the first and only time you see the glint of gold on the table. Here's a stack of 5 gold coins.
Ugh,
You
well,
accomplish this. This is what you're going to get.
it's like 10 grand right there, by the way.
Exactly.
In real money, like in our version of money. Here's $10,000.
Yes.
Go handle this problem.
Really? Yeah. And if you do well, we may have more work for you. Son of a gun. Am I working for the mob now? I'm working for this organized
Yes,
crime.
you are working for the mob.
Son of a gun, I am. Here's what happens.
It's the legalized mob, but it's certainly the mob. At least the mob that, runs the city. What I like about this is, and I will hearken it to a thing that is not actually in the game, but it's a technique that I use is the conspiramid from Night's Black Agents. It's a good way to like organize like how a place or an organization works. So I will just use that. I've used it for these families before. Like running a game, I had the Travascuses involved in a thing, and they have the Order of the Eye at their disposal.
Yeah, that's all the wizards. I mean, yep. That's a lot. That's a lot of oomph.
And there was a person that I was actually running a Star-Crossed Lovers thing. I think I snatched it right out of the book that we originally put together, and I modified it. But there was a kid that was just got shipped off to a tower to like go study. I mean, it might not have been Travascus. It might have been the other one.
The apothecaries.
It was a Grimhagen. Yeah.
Grimhagens?
Yeah, because they sent him to a tower to go study, right? Like, just to get him out of the way so he wouldn't get attacked by Eckert family people. But the Eckerts were like, no, man, we can't have this. So they hired an assassin to go kill him. And that assassin got his hands on another assassin. There's like a whole bunch of layers to that. But I built myself a little pyramid of all these people that were involved, including the person that wasn't necessarily a part of the house, but was running the tower of knowledge that the kid was working in. Like, she wants to be more a part of the family. She's got her own like motivations, but she doesn't have the name Grimhagen, but she's still a part of that organization.
I love that.
You just build down, right? Go like, here's the top, and then you find where the interesting thing and who's going to actually be the people that are involved.
And this is a piece where, it's as you're investigating through, your troubleshooting, you're delving, you're solving problems, you're even hunting monsters. Like, oh my gosh, we just took care of this problem. It turns out this were-rat is a Corbin. Well, son of a gun.
That's bad.
That ain't good. These guys, they own the Fellowship of Engineers, the Arquebusiers, all the people who make all the gunpowder and firearms. They've got the Clockmakers Guild. Oh my gosh. And there's were-rats in their bloodline, in their family.
Mm-hmm.
This could be bad.
Yeah,
is that why the Wolfarts, the guys who own the Extortioners Guild, want to know about what you've been doing?
All these people probably have some sort of secrets that they want to keep under wrap, because otherwise it's leverage that can be used against them.
Absolutely.
I love that idea. Like one of the Corbin family, because they're the Clockmakers and the Arbicesters and the Guild of Engineers. Mm-hmm. Like the playtest scenario that I ran for you, like they have a secret. They actually have an ancient like clockwork place that the dwarves and elves used to work in. Mm-hmm. So like they just go down there, and every once in a while to like, they keep it secured. They don't tell anybody about it, but they go down there every once in a while and find stuff. And then that's like new tech that they can bring to the city. That's how they keep their edge over everybody else.
Yeah, it's the mystical version of your Area 51, right? Yep. I'm going to go downstairs, reverse engineer this thing, and voila, look at what I have. Mm-hmm. This is pretty cool. The cool thing for me that I've also found is sometimes when you're playing and you're running adventures and you're doing stuff, and people are like, oh, I've heisted my heists, I've hunted my monsters, I've done, and so forth. When you have these types of folks in there, you can start off with lesser members of the home. You can talk like using, again, the Cos Pyramid, this how do I build up to who's actually in charge and what the real problem is. It gives you this opportunity to say, well, we've been doing these things. I'm willing to bet the Dietrich family's involved because they own the Fences Fraternity Guild. Through dint of their explorations and what they've done, they have eliminated, perhaps nicely or not nicely, 3 fences in their neighborhood. We need to send somebody to go ask some questions. We need to start poking around. We need to start paying attention. What's been going on? What's happening? It's this wonderful escalation path. So when you're adventuring and you're doing stuff, you're like, man, we just seem to be kind of we're solving everything that's in our neighborhood, but what's beyond the walls of our neighborhood? What's beyond the borders of our neighborhood? And then this group from outside comes in. The chariot rolls up. Somebody on horseback. Oh my God, they've got a horse. Why does she have a horse? What's going on? She dismounts, walks into the inn, starts throwing money around, asking questions about your troubleshooters. Oh my gosh.
I mean,
what are we gonna do?
Who wouldn't want that cash, right? Like, maybe
Exactly.
we should step up.
Exactly.
I mean, we could pay our rent for a little while with that.
I have often used the mysterious benefactor. It's great. You can see the house symbol somewhere, or you go, oh, I get it. Okay, that's what this is, and so forth. One of the just a note for you, I did this in my original Avalon, one of my main stories I did, and the Roberts, they own the Order of Comedians, Play Actors, Dancers, and Songsters, Bards Guild, right? Brother of Sculptors and Painters. Most of the entire Bards Guild, as well as the Robert family, they're not really human anymore.
Really? What are they?
They're doppelgangers.
Oh, that makes sense. So the whole family is like doppelgangers at this point?
They've been infiltrated. Some know, some don't. The Bards Guild is thick with them.
That makes sense.
And the doppelgangers hate the brain gorgers. They are some things that fled here along with our lamplighter friends. And they are as anti-Erlig as anybody can get. They despise that stuff. They don't like the brain gorgers. They're trying to exist, trying to hold on, do the best they can. And they worm their way into a powerful family. And they're doing their damnedest to maintain.
I honestly just assume that anything that's not a human, a dwarf, or an elf, and not that there's many dwarves or elves around anymore, or a bargeman, isn't actually from this world. Pick your thing. It's probably just from outside. Like, it came here from another planet. Like, just trying to get away from being destroyed thousands of years ago, and now it's just here, right? Like, they probably don't remember. That's how I feel about a lot of stuff. But
one of the reasons I want to have the not vast, but 13 families have 12 active, 1 open hole. We talked about, hey, there's a power vacuum, right? There's something missing. But the other piece is I wanted that Mediterranean analog, as Matt Colvin and other people have said, is that this place where I can make any of these 12 houses be of any type, feel I want. If I want to have it does it because it's a metropolitan place. Everything is here. Every person is here. Every ethnicity. It doesn't matter. This house, if you have a penchant and you say, hey, I would really like to run a very strict samurai code type of family, I think it would really work well in this. This would just be a really cool piece, something I'd like to work in there. Or, hey, I'd like to pull in this this approach, kind of a Scottish clan type of thing, or whatever your fancy is. There's plenty of places to modify and do. What I wanted to do is provide, a framework where people could grab onto it and then make those families their own to help them tell the stories they want. You don't have to use them all. You could pick one.
It's a bad idea to use them all. You might want to just use one to begin with, and maybe a second one later, right?
Yeah, my recommendation is 2, maybe 3. You start off with 1, and then somebody else finds out. Then they're like, okay, these guys have got this group. We got to do something about it.
In our original actual play, it was the Wolfheart family because we were dealing with the Temple of Odin and the Hammerites.
Yes.
Right? So just them, nobody else.
Later on, there were some potters involved, some other problems. There
were other problems. Let me just try to pull this all together. If I'm running this game, which I have run a bunch of these games, and I'm going to use one of these families, it's really just, you pick one, figure out how you want them to operate inside of your space. Me, I tend to use an org chart, essentially, the conspiramid of some sort, to give myself some ideas for how these scenarios might play out in the future if I need it for a long-term play thing. And then I just start figuring out what the connections are and how these people operate, and then I can use that as my basis for creating scenarios or to react to what's going on actually in the campaign that I'm running.
I've also done it the reverse engineering way, and by that I mean the players start off doing stuff. I'm like, man, I know I've got a couple quick hitters, if you will. We've got a little investigation to do. We got a monster to hunt. We've got to delve into something, got to solve a problem for the neighborhood. We've done that. And in the process, they alienated an entire guild because it turned out X was the problem.
Okay.
Who owns that guild? Oh, that's the Bomb Rose. Oh, Bomb Rose, that's the printing guild. You pissed off the entire printing guild.
And as soon as
there's going to be a problem.
Yeah, as soon as it hits somebody's desk or somebody's ears, and they're like, we can't have that. Then they'll come down and look at you. And then you got a problem because somebody with a lot of money and a lot of power just came down to look at you.
Yeah, because at some point, the guild money that goes up the chain, protection money, you might want to call it, perhaps. It looks like an awfully inflammable building you have there. It'd be a shame if somebody were to light all this printing material on fire. But when the money stops, people start to pay attention. I have a revenue flow out of this neighborhood as part of the Blacksmiths Guild. I have a revenue flow from the engineering work that's happening, the sanitary excavators, the Jewelers Guild, the Goldsmiths Guild, the people who are doing this stuff. If the Temple of Odin in your neighborhood is suddenly revealed to have been a problem, you had to expunge their priests. They had to recycle and rebuild their entire who trusts them anymore, right? Their entire the internal morale and their persona that they push out. It's all bad. Oh my gosh, we've got a publicity nightmare here.
Reputation means a lot in the city.
It does. Well, did your guys and gals cause that problem? Well, those men and women have got something to deal with now. They've got problems, right?
Yep.
So your group, how do they address that? So I love the idea of the top down, because sometimes I have this really cool idea of how things could fit and whatever. We'll play loose, we'll do our thing. But sometimes you come in there and you think, man, it would be really, all this stuff's been happening. I want to turn it up a notch. I want to go from a 2 to a 3. How do I crank it up a little bit? You can grab one of those 12 families and say, okay. If you're feeling really ambitious, you say, you know what? 13th family, I'm going to name them. They're making a move right now. They're willing to back my play to help continue to damage the Architect Guild's reputation. Oh, the Merchants Consortium too. You can do some stuff over there. They start feeding you stuff. Why? They want to dishonor the Danforths because they want to move them. They want to be seen as somebody. They have a plan. They may even throw you to the wolves afterwards. They may capture you. Go, look what we did. Now the Danforths are voting for us to join. All of that stuff is possible. But when you want to, like I said, if you start from the top down, great. But if you go from the bottom up, sometimes it's that I want to bump up the volume just a little bit. I want to crank it up a notch, and they can step right in for you.
It makes me think that we should, at some point in the future, which I have this on a list somewhere, do like a folio of some sort about these 13 houses, like fleshing them out just a little bit more, and then giving people a bunch of tools for how to actually flesh them out, because that's not going to be in the core book. The core book is already like in the 140, 150,000 word range. Like,
it's a lot.
Yeah.
But that's the beautiful thing of this type of piece, is that you can, it's there. It can be expanded on. And once you get it and you start messing with this, just because Brett and Chris didn't put it out yet doesn't mean it's not yours.
Yeah, absolutely. You should totally mess with it.
So the hope is that you've got this, and it starts to get the wheels turning. Ooh, I could use this. How could I use it? And it's also highly possible. You could say, you know what? I don't want to use the magistrates at all. Don't need to. I got enough stuff going on right here. I don't even want them.
Yeah.
100% fine. Many of your locals don't even know who these folks are except by big name. They don't know who the head of the Eckhart family is. They don't know if it's a he, she, they, 15 brothers and sisters vying for control. They don't know. They have no clue.
They're just trying to get by.
Exactly.
Anything else you want to talk about these houses? Are we good? I think
we're pretty good, man. The fun is finding out how they fit, where they fit, and what you may or may not want to do with them. And it's a feature in my mind of lets you build conspiracies, lets you turn things up, turn them down a little bit. A great place for you to get favors, information. So you don't always have to go knock on your lamplighter's door and sacrifice the left ring finger from the mage friend of yours. You could actually maybe go pay an informant instead. Might be an easier way to get information.
I'm glad we did talk about it though, because it is a good chunk of why the city is kind of the way it is.
Yeah, once you understand what they're trying to do and why the leadership is broken right now, and broken leadership on a massive scale causes broken city. You're like, oh, I get it. I understand. This is why my crew, they need to be able to help and step up. They need to be able to do stuff, because these 12 assholes, they ain't going to do it for you.
Thank you for listening to Under the Lamplight, the Streets of Avalon role-playing game podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please like and subscribe on YouTube. You can pick up the playtest version of the game, which I've done my best to give a slightly nicer layout with some art at polygamero.us. The link is below. And we'll see you under the lamplight next week.